You know what? I didn't think I'd be introducing this video this way. I honestly thought that I'd be introducing this video saying, right, let's get the win tonight and go top of the league. But once again, we bottled it on Sunday. And tonight is, again, a night where we need to put it right again and get back to winning ways. Absolute must win for Rangers tonight against Dundee at the Swamp, at Dens Park. Hopefully Shrek's not in defence. Hopefully there's no dragon hanging around, and hopefully Donkey is not talking the hind legs off the referee or any of our players as we travel up there to, obviously, as we know, where it only has global warming 100 yards down the road from a stadium where there is no global warming. And I've got to say, look, I'm not usually an admirer of Dundee United. I don't like them for obvious reasons, but I've got to say I genuinely admire their Twitter post earlier today, kind of rubbing it into Dundee's faces a little bit, where they talked about the fact that it's perfect conditions and preparation, weather and perfect preparation surface at Tannadice for the remaining league games. I think that was definitely a targeted swipe at their Tayside neighbours, guys. Yeah, like I said, don't usually like Dundee, but that's a touch of class than Dundee. Well done. Let's talk, obviously, we'll talk about tonight's game. We're going to talk about building up towards this Dundee game and what this game could possibly hold for Rangers tonight. Vinny Clermont obviously spoke to the media, and we had our news conference reaction video yesterday on the channel live. If you haven't checked that out, please go and check that out. Split fixtures are out. There'll be a video out later today analysing our split fixtures and analysing their split fixtures, looking against each other and getting some views on those. But let's start with tonight's game. Now, Rangers have got a real task tonight to turn around what has been a pretty bad run of form recently. Since we had that 11-game unbeaten run, things have really gone tits up. That's the right thing to say. If we're allowed to say that anymore, probably not allowed to say that anymore. It's probably not woke enough. But this is our last 7 games and across all competitions. And I'm telling you this, it doesn't look good. It does not look good. Rangers 1, Motherwell 2. Obviously, that was at Ibrox. They defeated Ibrox. A draw, that was a good result. I mean, let's face it, that result at the Estadio de la Luz in Lisbon, that's a good result. To go to a top team like Benfica, as they are proving at the moment in the Europa League, that's a good result. That's a cracking result. Then to go, come back 2-0 win over Hibs in the Cup, fair enough. Quite worrying that we've already beaten Hibs, who are not even in the top 6, isn't it? Then to lose 1-0 at Ibrox to Benfica, just because we couldn't finish. Then again, when you've got Cyril Dessers as your striker, what do you expect? Then a 3-1 home win against Hibs in the league. Before that, very disappointing 3-3 draw against Celtic. Yes, on reflection, after the start we made, it's not disappointing, but it was for me a must-win. To go to Parkhead 5 points clear, I think was the aim of the club and the aim of the fans, the aim of Clermont, and it didn't happen because we went obviously 2-0 down very early, got it back to 2-2, then they score, and then a thank you to Rabbi Matondo for a fabulous goal, and then a 3-2 against Ross County. So it's 7 games, it's 3 defeats, 2 wins, 2 draws. It's not looking very great at the moment. The form is not looking great. They don't look as solid as they did when Clermont first came in. Their passing is not as crisp and precise. They don't move the ball as quick as they used to. There has been a real slump in form, and a real slump in form at the worst possible time. You know what? You have a slump in form, start of the season. Good time to have a slump in the form. Mid-season, kind of not as good as the start, but still, not so bad. But the end of the season, on the run-in, is the worst possible time to have a slump in form. And is that slump in form down to, A, the players just aren't good enough? Well, I don't buy into that 100%. There is some very talented players on this Rangers team. Abdallah Sima, for example. Todd Canwell, another one, for example. Jack Butland. Mohamed Diamande. There is some talent and some quality in this lineup. I think a lot of it is down to the mentality. A lot of it is down to the scar tissue that has built up over the years of playing second fiddle to them. Those players from the old guard who will be in evidence tonight, thanks to injuries, will obviously, have kind of contributed to that. And look, I know Tav digs us out of a hole when he scores his goals, but it's not the be-all and end-all. His defending is so bad, and Celtic targeted him relentlessly in that game, and Dyson Maida made his life an absolute misery. And also, he was caught out of position a number of times on the Sunday against Ross County. And I know this is not the video to discuss this, but it really is time for a ruthless summer at Ibrox. Philippe Clement, Niels Koppen, as I said on the video the other day, need to be ruthless or they will be seen out the door by these players who've already seen two managers. One, a complete charlatan, or more than two, actually. One, a complete charlatan, and one who I don't think got a fair crack of the whip in Gio van Bronckhorst. Let's have a look at Rangers' recent form against Dundee at overall and at Dens Park. So this is in recent times. We've played them 36 times. We've beat them. We've played them more than 36 times. We've played them 46 times. My apologies there. We've won 36 of 46. We've drawn 6, lost 4. That is our total against them. You know, a very good return. We've certainly got an excellent record against Dundee. You know, a really, really good record against Dundee there. You know, 36 out of 46 win, 36 out of 46, sorry, is an excellent record. You know, that's a 78% win percentage against Dundee. So they're clearly a team that, you know, historically don't cause us a lot of trouble. Now, sort of narrowing it down to Dens Park. We've played them at Dens Park some 24 times and we've won 17 of those 24, drawing altogether 5 of them and losing 2. Again, a 70% win ratio. So our win record against Dundee is absolutely excellent. But of course, our win record and our not being defeated record against Ross County was absolutely amazing at 100% not being defeated by them. By the law of averages, you know, we lost to them. That's the first time we've ever lost to the Stags. And fair play to them. You know, I said on Sunday, you know, I called our players gutless, you know, and I called our players bottlers and all that. I said, fair play to Ross County. They did a great job. They played well. They had a game plan. And fair play to Don Cowie and his boys for what they did in that game. Now, Dundee come into this tie off the back of qualifying for the top 6. So they obviously will be very high and very much up for this game. You know, Philippe Clement said that, you know, they have nothing to lose because they've qualified already. There's 5 more games left. But, you know, some people have contested that and say, well, you actually know they have got something to lose because they'll want to starting to aim for European places possibly, which, you know, I think given that pitch is a long way away. But, you know, their recent home form on that hideous pitch has been mixed. Last time they played at home, they lost 3-2 to Motherwell on a pretty awful pitch after leading 2-0. They lost. They won 1-0 against Aberdeen at home. They drew 2-2 with Killie. They did then, previous to that, win 2-0 against Ross County, the team that beat us the other day. In terms of their overall form over the last few games, you can look at it. They drew 0-0 with Aberdeen at Pittodrie on Saturday. Aberdeen did go down to 10 men, but that was not until the 96th minute when, yes, surprise, surprise, Graham Shinney was sent off. They obviously, like I said, they lost to Motherwell before that. Before that, they beat St Johnstone at Dermid Park 2-1. The 1-0 win over Aberdeen in the league. Prior to that, a 2-2 against Killie. And then prior to that, a 7-1 whooping from Celtic at Celtic Park. Prior to that, a 2-1 defeat at Hibernian, and then obviously a 2-0 at Ross County, a 2-1 over St Johnstone, and a 2-0 defeat to St Mirren. So mixed form from Dundee coming into this game. So you look at that, you look at the form, you look at the overall record, you look at the talents on the prospective teams. Now, yes, they have some decent players like Bakayoko, Tiffany, McGowan, for example, but there should be more than enough quality on this Rangers team, even with the players who are absent, to get the result, to get the victory. Now, who is definitely out tonight for Rangers? And that is these 3 here, which I think are big misses for the club. Ridwan Yilmaz is not fit, as it was revealed by Philippe Clement in his presser today. I think that is a huge, huge miss. That means, of course, that either Borna Barisic, please God no, or Dujon Sterling will start at left back. Now, this is just one of the worst things possible. I mean, Ridvan is having an excellent season. Ridvan has been quality this season, and I think what he provides and what he has, that width that he gives us, the attacking going forward that he has, it's just quality. He is excellent. He really is. But him missing, you put Borna out there, then Borna gets hooked at half. Borna gets hooked at the game on Sunday, doesn't play well. He's not good. Borna probably doesn't want to be here anymore. He's not playing well, so you don't put him there. You put Sterling there. But then I honestly think having Sterling in midfield would get rid of some of the weakness of the defence, of teams running through the middle of us. as Ross County did. But then can you risk Bournemouth at left back? It's a really complicated one. Diamande out with his poorly thumb. You can look. I'm not getting into discussion over that. There's two schools of thought on that. One is that it hurts like hell and it affects your whole arm and your balance, etc. The other is stop being such a wet wipe and get back to it. That's the two schools of thought. You'll be in either one of those. I'm not commenting. I'm fed up with the abuse, and having him would certainly help us. I think he's been a big miss. He starts attacks off. He provides some impetus to the attack. He can pass through the lines. He can break lines. He's a quality player. And I think he's going to go on to be a very good player for Rangers. Leon Balogun has been ill, so he's not fully fit. So, look, as much as we want Connor Goldson out of the team, it doesn't look like that's possible because the only alternative now is Leon King. And realistically, he's not going to play Leon King because Leon King has very little match time this season. So it looks like Connor Goldson, unfortunately, will continue. So that does substantially weaken the defence. Connor has in the past been a great servant, and I've stuck up for Connor. Go back and watch some of the videos right at the start of this season, me sticking up for Connor Goldson. I'm not a Goldson hater, but he has been very poor these last few months, and his form is getting worse and worse and worse. And I would have loved it if somebody today had the balls to actually ask about Connor Goldson in the press conference. Unfortunately, nobody did, not even the fan media guys, who all love me to bits. Anyway, so there we go. Today, I honestly think tonight that this man here has a critical role to play in this team tonight. That's Abdallah SEMA. SEMA was one of the two players that I kind of gave pass marks to. I think it was, Tav talked about no one getting pass marks, but you know what, Tav, you were one of the shittest on Sunday. And I'm not really taking a lecture from someone who's not fit to captain this team. But SEMA, I thought, did okay on Sunday. He wasn't brilliant. He wasn't terrible. He had a couple of chances. That stooping header that was clawed away by Laidlaw was certainly excellent technique. Shot, I think, that was saved as well. One that was blocked. He provided an impetus, a power, a strength on that right-hand side. And for me, after Roof, he's probably the best finisher at the club. He's the one that you can kind of hang your hat on. If it drops to him in the area and he gets a chance, he probably takes it, 99% of the time. There is that 1% like on Sunday where he doesn't. I personally would like to see SEMA go through the middle. I don't trust Dessers. Those two misses on Sunday just show for me that he's not trustworthy, that when you really need it, when you really need him, he's not there for you. SEMA, I think, could play through the middle. He is a threat. He's quick. He's strong. He's powerful. And I think we have options to replace him out wide, in this team. And if it doesn't work, after 45 minutes, change it. Stick him back out wide and bring Roof on. Bring Dessers on if you have to. Bring Silver on. I think there are options there, but SEMA, I do feel, has a big part to play, as does Dujon Sterling wherever he is played. I think Sterling has to start in a position tomorrow, whether it's left back, centre midfield, right wing. Sterling has to play. Sterling is one of our best players. He shows a spirit, a fight, a battle, and he runs through players in tackles and when he's got the ball. He is a top player, and I think leaving him on the bench on Sunday was a critical mistake by Philippe Clement. My team for Sunday, for tonight even, is this team here. So Jack Butland in goal obviously picks himself. Unfortunately, we are going to have to go with Tav Goldson due to the injuries, due to all those people out. Look, I think if Ridvan had been fit, then possibly, and Balogun had been fit, you probably could have seen maybe. Look, Tav's never going to get dropped, especially given the comments that Philippe Clement made today. And we're going to talk a little bit about Tav at the end of the video. So he's always going to be there. But Connor Goldson, for me, is an absolute liability. And I think, Balogun may have stood a chance of starting had he not been ill. So it is unfortunately going to be Connor the Bomb Scare Goldson. John Souttar then alongside him. And I think some of our fans are really harsh on John Souttar. John Souttar's had an excellent season. Yes, he's made mistakes, but so have a lot of players in this team. So I think it's very unfair, some of the criticism that John Souttar gets. I think he's been by far our best defender. Sterling at left back, I think that's a given. You have to play Sterling. You cannot play Barisic there. He is an absolute bloody liability. John Lundstrom, again, was shit on Sunday, should be dropped, but because of the fact that Diamande is injured, Jack is injured, who else have we got to play there? I don't think Lawrence and Dowell are options. Dowell wasn't great Sunday. Lawrence is clearly not in form. So it's going to have to be Lundstrom. And I do think there's becoming an element with this old guard of undroppability. We can debate that later. Tonight's not the day, or today's not the day for debating that. I'd like to see Nicholas Raskin come in and get a chance. We haven't seen a lot of Raskin recently. Like I said, Dowell didn't work there. Sterling's my preferable player there, but he's got to play left back today. So for me, Raskin comes in, and we say to, you know, someone says to Raskin, this is your chance. Prove yourself. Go out and prove yourself these next 6 games, because that he needs to. He really does need to. Ross McCausland comes in on the right, Matondo on the left. You know, Ross is direct. He's quick. He's a Rangers man. I'd put him out there. Left side, Matondo. You know, he's buzzing. His form's good. He's got a shot on him. For me, Matondo's got to play there. Cantwell, who I thought played reasonably well on Sunday. I don't think he was a disaster Sunday. For me, starts in the 10 role. And I'm going to start with SEMA up top. I do not want to see Cyril Dessers lead the line after those 2 ridiculous misses on Sunday. So that, for me, is how we will line up. As for Tav, you know, look, he is going to be captain. He is going to play. You know, Clement's comments today about Tav, suck it up, get on with it. You know, about the captain receives criticism and all this. You know, in the good times, he gets the praise. In the bad times, he takes the crap, because that's as a captain, that's what you've got to expect. And I think given those comments that Clement made today, Tav starts no matter what. I just hope that this summer there is a ruthlessness in Clement and Coppen to get rid of this old guard that are dragging this club down. Let me know what you think. Prediction for tonight, 2-0 Rangers. Going to be optimistic. Let me know what your predictions are. Let me know your team lineups in the comments. Thank you for watching Glasgow Rangers Nation, guys. As always, on the way out, 2 jobs for me. Number 1, smash the like. And number 2, remember always, we are the people.